needs to be properly set up in order to get the most performance out of it. I'm Robbie Nelson from Racetrack Database. Today I'm going to show you how to check your camber and toe with just some simple tools that you probably have laid around your garage. You may need to purchase a few items from a local hardware store, but nothing compared to the price of real alignment tools, which cost hundreds of dollars. If you're meticulous with your measurements, you should be able to check your camber to 0.1 degree and toe to plus or minus a 16th. Before we get started, let's take a minute to review what camber and toe are. Camber is the amount of lean that the tire or wheel have on the vertical axis. If the tire is leaning in, that's negative camber. If the tire leans out, that's positive camber. Most performance setup are negative camber. You rarely ever see them go with positive camber. So, see performance cars, a lot of times you'll see their tires leaning in like this. Toe, on the other hand, is the amount that the tire faces this way when the steering wheel is straight. This, obviously, is toe in. This, obviously, is toe out. Straight in the middle is zero toe. Straight up and down is zero camber. Pretty simple, right? Okay, let's quickly review everything we're going to need here today. Got a 2-foot carpenter's level. Obviously, the more accurate the level, the more accurate your measurements are going to be. Some string or twine. I've just got some fluorescent bricklayer's string, you know, so they level the bricks with. Get that at the hardware store. Jack stands. You're going to need a straight edge of some sort, probably, maybe not, but I've just got a piece of hollow square aluminum tube. You're going to need a tape measure, jack. Now these are going to be a little strange to you. Maybe you're going to wonder why we're going to use them. I'm going to show you here next. We got a bucket. We're going to put some water in our bucket. 1/4 inch clear tubing. You can get this at a hardware store. You're going to need about 15 feet of it. 1/8 inch floor tile. These don't have to be anything special. Get the cheapest ones you can get, but they need to be, you know, roughly 1/8 inch and like 12 by 12. Got a scientific calculator, Sharpie, and a pencil. Before we take any of these measurements, there's one thing that's very important. Some people probably neglect to do when they check camber and toe, for that matter. The car needs to be perfectly level. There's really 2 reasons for this. One, that is camber is a measurement of how far your tires are leaning in or out. And if the car itself isn't level, it puts a lean on the tire itself. There's no way to account for the lean of the car. So you got to have it absolutely level for that. The other reason, you don't want to be measuring dynamic camber or toe. And by that, when the suspension is compressed, my little model here, the suspension doesn't actually work. But when you compress the suspension, you know, if you're on an uneven surface, you actually compress the spring, and it'll put a little bit of camber or toe in, depending on, you know, how the suspension geometry is with your car. So the first thing we're going to do before we start checking these measurements is to make sure the car is perfectly level. Even though you got a nice garage with a level floor, don't take the fact that it's level for granted. It's probably not. Builders either sloped it because they wanted to, or they just weren't accurate, or the ground's settled. It's probably not level. But definitely not level enough to check the camber. So what we're going to do here first is I'm going to take the bucket of water and the tubing, and I forgot one item, use a little bit of duct tape. We're going to level the garage floor, and then we're going to get started on our toe and camber checks. Now pull your car into the garage and give yourself plenty of room around all 4 wheels. Okay, ignore my boxes here, that outline. I've already got this set up for my car, but I'm going to show you how to do it for your car, so just ignore the box, act like it's not there. What you want to do is make a small mark on the floor right where your tire meets the pavement. Just mark go around the car and mark all 4 tires like this. Put a little spot just so you know where it's at. You may make a little V just so you know. That's a very important mark there. Make sure you don't lose track of them. There's spots all over the floor here, so just make your mark and make sure you don't lose track. Then get back in the car, turn the wheel, take a tape measure, take a measurement of your tires tread width. Just a rough figure here will do. This is about 9 inches. Okay, now that the car's out of the garage, take a straight edge, or as I'm using here, a string, and rough in these boxes. What you want to do is take your ruler, go from the mark that we just made on the outside of the tire, go your tire width over, which is 9 inches for my tire, make a mark on the other side. Okay, once you've got your marks made at all 4 corners, you can either do one of two things. You can take a ruler, and from your 2 marks we've made, you know, here and over here on the other side, you can determine and center up this 12 by 12 tile. Okay, that's what I did. Or, if you're lazy, sit the tile up here, right on your mark, and then scoot it however many inches over. And as you can tell, I've marked my box. That way I know where to put our tiles every time I pull in the garage. I don't have to do this every time. Kind of convenient. Take a Sharpie and mark it on there and it'll last for quite a while. Do that for all 4 corners, and then I'll show you how to determine how many tiles you need. You could probably do this same thing with an 8-foot level and a 2x4, but to me it's just not accurate enough. You know, the 2x4 can be bowed or whatnot. I like this method better. This is probably the neatest part of what I'm going to show you today. There's a sexy way, which is clean, to do this, but there's a dirty and easy way. What I'm going to show you is the dirty and easy way. What you do is you take your tubing, a piece of duct tape, and submerge it down in the water of your bucket that you got. Okay? You're going to tape it to the side so the end of the tube can't come out of the water. Very important that end stays in the water. Okay? Now you take your other end and you just suck the water to fill the entire tube up. Now if you watch what you're doing, you can not suck any of the water up, which may be dirty. This is actually a bucket I use to wash my car, so don't suck it all the way up. But get it up there, and then I take my level, which has a built-in ruler on the side of it, and we're going to tape it to the side of the ruler here. Now you can do this with a 2x4 and just use a ruler on the side of it, but this makes it a little easier. Just tape it up about halfway. You can take your thumb off of it now. And what you can see there is you got the water level that's going to show up on a ruler. As you move the ruler up, water level goes down. Move the ruler down, water level comes up. You see what you're in for here? Now what we want to do is find our highest corner. Now I've got my ruler with the big numbers on the bottom, so the highest corner is going to be the place where our water level is the lowest.